Good morning, everybody. Welcome. So very nice to have you here with me this morning. I hope you are well. Pat is here. Happy Wednesday. So nice to have you here. Finally getting some sunshine. Hey, that sounds pretty nice. I haven't looked if we are in store for that. Not so far. One of these days, perhaps. Still very cold here in Madison. So wherever you are at, I hope you are doing well. I hope you're staying warm, although not too warm. If you watched my little session on the cold the other day, 2 years in a row now, I try to hit the coldest day and give us some reflections on some benefits of the cold. Have you been able to bring any of that into your life a little bit? I've just been taking a couple degrees off the heater, say, hey, we're going to bring some more strength, some more resiliency in here, for what it's worth. The path begins wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. We are moving toward better health here in fasting space. So whatever path, either whatever path you're on, whatever path you're trying to get on, hey, this is a place to build the mindset to do it today. Let's do it. Get our thinking in the best place. Take the best advantage of this beautiful gift of today that we have. A lot of times we think, oh, better health is far away. Better health is like, I'll be healthy when. That's the type of thing we say. I'll be healthy when, I hit the goal. I love that thinking from Atomic Habits. We'll get back to some of that too. The goal is just one day. One day you hit a goal. It's just a point on this compounding curve of our health that we're trying to build. And that path that is extending all the way back here, right at this moment, we're on that path right now, wherever you are. If you're connecting in here, you say, man, connect into a fasting space. It's such a thoughtful thing to do, Say, already that mindset is really strong. Say, hey, you know what? I'm carving out some time here. Sit in some fasting space. Very powerful. I say you're already on the path. Even if fasting is not your thing, right? So fasting doesn't have to be anybody's thing. Someone can come on a fasting space show, say, I don't really like fasting, I just like the space, I like some gentle music, I like just thinking about health, get you in the mindset. The mindset is the most important part, no matter what it is. Build a strong mindset that is like, I'm choosing the healthiest foods, I'm moving my body in a healthy way. And if a path like that flows you in toward your goal, it's like, man, I'm getting stronger, I'm accomplishing every goal. That's great. To me, fasting is the part that takes, if someone is struggling with something like that, say, hey, this is not easy. I'm having trouble. I'm doing all these things that everyone says. I'm trying to eat the right diet, exercise, Still not getting where I want to go. You can bring in the fasting process into it. Give it more power. That's what we need. More power without more cost, without more risk of side effects of pharmaceuticals, which have their place. You say maybe a pharmaceutical has its place. Not the type of thing that I get really excited about, though, as someone who's prescribed thousands of pharmaceuticals for people. My experience is kind of like, The entire experience of being a prescriber of thousands of drugs is the process that led me to try to explore natural alternatives in the most powerful way possible. What are my thoughts on changing up the eating schedule when you hit a plateau? I'm a big fan of it. I really am. We had a comment on the channel once. Was it just in the fall? Someone talking about talking about changing the furniture in the room, just as changing anything as like a place to like open up change in other areas. And I totally loved that thought. And yeah, people, in my experience, a lot of people out there get into a fasting process and they say, oh, I'm a person that does 16/8, I'm an Omadder, I do this. So we start, you can start just like anything, I guess, a job, a something, things that we do. Oh, I'm a musician, I play this. Like we just define ourselves by the things that we do. Do you see how easy it is to get in habits? Why even when we get into something they see as a new habit, it's a better habit, then that thing we can be stuck there. Fasting, I like to say fasting is openness. Everything about fasting, just open. It's not the type of thing that is like rigid or locked in. And so having it to be flexible in seasons is good, both from the standpoint of like, if your mental space needs a break from it, or if the mental space feels like leaning into it, very much like that. Or if you say, the results that I'm getting, I feel like I wish they were different in some way, wish they were more powerful. Okay, this dial goes both ways, 2 ways to go on a dial. Hitting a plateau, if you're flowing through a space, like is there a space where you say, could there even be value in backing off a bit and kind of reset that to say, hey, I'm going to dial back from the fasting for a little bit, dial in harder perhaps on something else just to balance it out. Say, hey, I'm going to pull back on the fasting a bit, really dial in on the exercise. Maybe my body is needing that. Or I'm going to like really take 2 weeks here. I'm going to pull back on this fasting process for a while, dial in on the cleanest eating possible, the very best. See, I really love that. All that is fine. I look at all of these things as dynamic processes. It's like we were saying the other day. We were talking about, which session was it? I don't believe that there is a one-size-fits-all dietary process that is right for every person. And, it's not even the case that there's a one-size-fits-all dietary process for each person at every point in time in their life. Like, we flow through seasons. There is an ebb and a flow to things. Now, so I started with this saying, yeah, we can dial this back. I think there's some benefit to that, kind of just resetting things. The dial also turns in the other direction. And so, for a season, you say, I've been doing 2 meals a day, or I've been doing 1 meal a day. It's a perfectly open space to turn the dial the other way. Say, can I push through the plateau by increasing the fasting? See, I lead with everything else. You don't have to do it. There's never any pressure. Dial in on clean eating. Dial in on the exercise process. These things are wonderful for the body. Fine to pull back on a fasting process. We have talked on the channel, I've presented different papers, different things, that the metabolism is dynamic. Metabolism through a process of dieting, even and exercise, can slow down. We can get ourselves, when we're calorie restricted, in a space where the metabolism slows down. Now, fasting in the short term, the best assessment that I can from the literature is that when we start opening up some fasting space, in the short term, fasting within a day or 1 or 2 days can open up that metabolism again. That seems pretty clear to me. But longer term fasting, meaning extended fasting, the body will slow that back down again, ultimately to conserve our energy. It's an open question to me. What if someone is doing OMAD for a long time? Could you get back into that place? Could the metabolism open up and then slow again? I have not seen any studies that have thoughtfully looked at an extended period like that to really answer that. But I say maybe it could. What if it could? That's one of the reasons why I love bringing in the flexibility into it. And this is why I say remember that the dial can go backwards too. Someone can develop, a mental state to say, oh, I'm someone who does Omad. Is like you feel like you have to do it all the time. We can end around back into guilt tripping ourselves where we say, oh, what if I am not doing this? Then I'm like falling short in some fashion. So I think it's healthy in that way even, to bring that to a space where we just reset the whole thing for a while, reset it. Say, take a week. I've been Omad for a long time. Say, I've been dialed in for these things, hitting kind of a plateau. What if you do really like low carb dialed in, but like, just reset that. Say, just take any negative adaptation off the table. Say, it's clear. My body, we're not doing the fasting for this period. See that? Take a break, Getting in a plateau. A couple ways to have a plateau. So these are some thoughts about it. The other thought is you don't have to do it. So just to be clear, like plateau is not a terrible place to be. Don't be angry with a plateau. Like, say if we're floating through a space, things not getting better the way we want, but they're not getting worse either. That's not too bad, really. A lot of times in a fasting process, if you're eating healthy foods, you're meeting the body's needs in that way, you're getting good exercise. If things are in balance, if you're feeling good, like, hey, it's not bad. A lot of times over time, a process like that, when you have good fasting space in the body, will resolve to the downside. Maybe not as fast as we want, but it can. And so either way, I do like it. I would suggest it. If you're having the mind to do it, why not try it? Why not see how it goes? See if you feel better. See if it resets things. Either way, lean in on the fasting process or take a break. Take a break and power up to lean into it. Like, all of these are great patterns. Also fine, as long as the energy is good, just to sit in a space like that and just be content with it. Say, hey, it's not okay. We're not on a race. There's no race to have to accomplish anything any faster than we want. We're on the path. If you're on the path, and how do you know if you're on the path? You say, is the mindset on the path? Am I doing my best in each day to take care of my mental health space? Am I taking steps to help make the body strong? Am I nourishing the body with the healthiest foods? And am I building a mindset of peace and contentment without food that brings everything into balance? Like, maybe write those out, have a little checkbox. How are we doing on those? If you're meeting some but not others, say, hey, that's where we want to dive in. But that's the path, and we say this is the practice of health. We're sitting in this space. We're doing these things. Every day we're practicing these mindsets are the actual steps of walking in the direction of our goal. None of these things really cost money, Say it's not far away. We don't have to travel anywhere. We don't have to go on some special retreat to get to a place of health and healing and wholeness. We can sit right here in our own space. If you're new to it, say you can just start right here. We have incredible tools, right? All the mental health tools we discussed, the breathing, the journaling, a meditation space. And then everything else that we've been discussing. I had my my experience yesterday. I was thinking, of course, well, what should I be talking about tomorrow? And then I did this exercise, which I do from time to time. I go on YouTube and I search things like why fasting is bad, why fasting doesn't work, why you shouldn't practice fasting, right? And I listen to all of these things, just to really challenge it, say, what are the arguments? What are the discussions? Yeah, it's so interesting. I found this guy, big doctor channel, hundreds of thousands of, people on the channel, talking about how all the evidence shows that intermittent fasting, no different than calorie restriction, basically saying lowering the calories is is all you need to do. And he presented a meta-analysis of these studies. And so like at first, I see stuff like that. I'm like, oh God, like, but I'm like, all right, let's just listen, see, open the mind, we accept it. I was like, let's read this study actually, because he just, people read the abstract. They don't read the study. I thought about, I spent actually a lot of the afternoon reading, these studies, and then I was putting together some slides. I thought, I could, give a talk. I do these ones that are, a talk. But then I wasn't feeling it, I was feeling like, oh, I want to just like hang out, We just chat about it. The thing that was so interesting to me going through it, when you actually dig into the study, I was thinking maybe I'd just make an actual video of it. That's what I was thinking. Maybe the format that would be better for some of that is just like make an actual, YouTube video, chop it up into like just 5 minutes to communicate it more succinctly. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you would like. How do you like it? Or do you like a balance between, the chill session, hang out, chat, versus, some of the talks? Maybe it's good to have both. But this is what I was thinking through yesterday. The value of kind of an academic talk, dive into the weeds, rip apart, scholarly papers and stuff. I do like to do that. I don't know. Is it the most engaging session or not? I don't know. Anyway, I decided we'll just chat about it. What it came down to is I just share my opinion. I don't know if there are any controversies in fasting, the fasting space, it would be this. And over the years, I've given dozens of talks on fasting in my research and other things. This is one of the most common criticisms or discussion points that people say fasting only works because you're cutting calories. And, the implication of the argument is that, like, if we just grant that that's true for a while to discuss it, that no one would ever want to do it because you can just cut your calories and then you never have to fast. And I think the way that I frame this in my mind and my experience is, we live in such a consumption culture that the continuous consumption of things is so ingrained that it's very hard for people to envision not participating in it or deviating from consumption patterns that are so normal. It's just like the water that the fish are swimming in, It's like you don't question it. It's like just how the world is. And so somebody looks at a study that's, 8 weeks long, it's a short little thing, and it says like, oh, some people started fasting, some people went on a big diet, and look, after 8 weeks, like they had similar results. I was like, well, why would we ever want to fast when, this shows that, you can just do this? Okay. The first point that I would make, and, I'm writing an outline maybe for a video about it, is like, who cares? Like, that would be my first thing. Like, to me, this is like not like a real argument, really. And they even make it, even in the paper, this guy's, has got so many thousands of, views on these things. We're telling people basically don't do a fasting because you can just cut the calories. I was like, okay, have you ever tried to do it? Like, most people's experience, and there's like a lot of literature this too, that especially in the short term, that basically every diet works in the short term. Most people who go on any dietary process have initial success doing it. This is what we're talking about, changing, patterns. You change a pattern, there's some efficacy, there can be value in doing that. So we flow into a space, there are changes that are happening. And most people then also do experience a plateau in lots of different types of processes. Okay, when you do studies that look, at that only, we say, well, yeah, a lot of things looking similar. The process of most people's experience, though, tell me if this is like your experience, it is not easy to just eat less calories. You tell people, well, just eat less calories. It's not really an easy thing for people to stick with in the long term. The long term, to me, is actually all that matters. We want a process that is sustainable, that works for people in the long term. And like to tell people, oh, fasting only works because it helps you to eat less calories. Like, okay, I would just start at the first part. Fasting only works. Like everybody kind of agrees. Like, yeah, this can be helpful. The trick of it, and what I would tell people, is that it's actually a nicer way to do it. Not really nice. Is this your experience? To just eat baby meals all the time? Like to say, I'm so calorie restricted, but without fasting, you end up having a little morsel here and there. It creates a sort of schedule where it's like you're never really satisfied. You're never eating as much as you want, and that can be quite unpleasant. So a strategy that helps you open up fasting space, you train yourself to do it where you can flow through it, that it becomes a stress reduction practice, that helps you to also eat normal meals. This can be quite nice. My experience is a much nicer way to do it. Many of the people that I work with come to find this is a much more pleasant way to do it. It's very hard to say, well, I'm going to eat 6 times in a day, but I'm still going to eat less. Like, the thing of it is that I think a lot of medical providers don't understand. Like, people don't live in research studies. You know what I mean? People don't live in labs where they're getting paid to follow protocols. And, yeah. I like eating substantial meals. Me too. Like, this is the sort of thing. A substantial meal is the way the body is designed to run the digestive system. Having the digestive system chronically on, always acid being produced, acid running through the system at all times, that is hard on the digestive system. Never a chance to put that system into downtime operations, rest and repair. See, that is not a thoughtful space as far as I can see. That does not appear to me at all to be the way the system is designed to operate. Most people are like this. I tried, won't stick with skimpy meals. It's just not satisfying. And, you know, I think what are our emotions? A lot of our emotional states are things that reinforce, you know, things that are good for the body. In this current situation, like you encounter in the wild a huge patch of blueberries or something, is that you get that sugar is like energy, is like we're rewarded for finding something. Body is like store that away. Like you think about like the things that will help a human being survive. Like some of these adaptations, like now we're in a world with incredible processed food that is like triggering a lot of these naturally adaptive things. It's kind of hijacking some of our natural inclinations. But a lot of the emotions, you know, are there to try to support things that are good and healthy for the body. It's like everything about eating a satisfying, healthy, sustainable meal, it just feels good in the body. That's what we like to do. We find a space of contentment with that. To put ourselves in a space where we're chronically denying ourselves in that, I mean, it's just so rare that you find someone that can do that sustainably and enjoy it, where they say, this is making my life better. I can hardly even think of anyone. Like, nobody likes that. And so, to me, fasting, the space is so physiologic, both in the body and the mind, with the way the body works physiologically, about how the digestive system works, and the mental emotional space. Whereas, like, yeah, we can flow through a space and find contentment without food and find contentment with food. Like, the worst is like trying to actually eat something and not finding contentment with that either. You see, that's like, that really is putting the screw on the mental space, you know? It pretty much, you know, when you actually read the paper, you know, you see, okay, you got a YouTuber, hundreds of thousands of people watching their channel say, this study shows fasting, they even say it, fasting doesn't work even. No, it's not what it says. The studies that they were looking at didn't prove that it was better over the short term, but it basically showed that it's equivalent. And they say right in the line, it's like, so people should just be able to choose what is more preferable to them. That is exactly how I would frame it. I was like, this is basically just saying anything that I would say. which is like, I think I already said that in this session already. Like if fasting isn't your thing, but you can lean into some clean eating and exercise, and if that gets you where you want and you're happy, like, beautiful, It's just another tool in the toolkit. To me, an incredibly valuable, powerful tool that has been radically underappreciated, in our society. But that's the way I would see it. So if you're trying to get on a path, is where I'm trying to say the path is right here, The path, wherever you are, it's right here, right now. It's open to you, because a fasting path, if you come to see it, say is nothing. It's just open space, giving the body room to burn energy in the body. We can tighten up that window. Yeah. You can start doing that right now. And you can lean into it in a stronger and stronger way as you practice. You can always take a break, like we said. On a talk show, Sally Field asked how she stayed so thin. She said, "I only eat when I feel faint." Well, that's very interesting. I could see, a mindset like that could take someone to kind of an extreme place. I only want people fasting to the extent that it helps them to feel better and have more energy. I don't want people taking it to a place where they feel unwell, or God forbid someone would pass out or something like that. There's a lot of, especially, in Hollywood and pop culture, there's a lot of people having a great deal of difficulty with body image and maybe pushing themselves harder on a space that isn't either good for them physically or psychologically, in an eating space, if you see what I'm saying. And fasting, there is a line somewhere where a fasting practice is start to intersect with an eating disorder, and people struggle so much with eating disorders. Every time, I've said this before on the channel, every time I give a talk in a room, if there's 80 people in there, some number of people have struggled with an eating disorder for sure. And especially someone who has struggled with anorexia, to even be in a place and talk about fasting it's usually not the type of talk that they need to hear, There's no, like I said, one size fits all practice. So I just want to be mindful, of that. People will criticize a fasting space. They say, "Oh, aren't you just starving yourself?" Well, that'd be the most cynical way to look at it. And, if you're only eating when you're faint, I wouldn't want, that's kind of heading toward that zone. Maybe, as it's hitting me. I want people in a fasting space, what I say you should be experiencing: lightness, openness, positivity, energy increasing. Like if somebody is just dragging, I say, I'm suffering in this space. I say, my gosh, take a break, push, just grab some food. You probably feel better, There's no need to push things beyond the capability of where the body is trained at. Now, you can train your body to handle a great deal of fasting. People do extended fasting, and if you have a calling to learn how to do that, of course you can do it. That is beyond what I consider simple fasting, on this program, this space. Simple fasting, I say just fasting within a day, or maybe one day, because this is a practice that is well within reach of, the body. We get sick. We have a sick day where the body's very compromised, and we flow through a day. Body can handle that, Great benefit. That's what we're trying to do. Find the most benefit from the least amount of fasting, Just dial it in to the amount that is beneficial. And then you're not pushing things to any extreme. And make it as sustainable as possible. I give you some thoughts from this book today. Yeah, I was you let me know where, I was thinking a lot yesterday. What should this show? What should our process, look like? I thought, well, maybe I should, I I've done this a bunch with these things. Dive right in, hit things with right on topic right away. I don't know. I just felt like being a little more open, with things today. This is, what is this? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, day 5 caffeine-free for me. I'm doing a caffeine-free week. No intention of continuing that beyond a week, I think. I like to do it, though, from time to time, just reset things. I don't think physiologically, I don't think this is true in the body, but my feeling, I go like straight caffeine days. It just kind of builds up over a couple months, and I end up feeling a little anxious. And so I do a little caffeine cleanse from time to time. Just let all the receptors, I let everything just kind of settle down. And this was a hard day for me on it. I was dreaming of coffee last night. I was like, oh. But this tea is very pleasant. It's cinnamon chamomile, which is quite nice. Very calming. Listen, here's a little section. The path begins right where you are now. If you know a change needs to be made in your life, it is okay if you are far from your goal or if you cannot conceive of how you will arrive. That is totally okay. And I love of that because, even if we can conceive of how we will arrive at the goal, we don't really know what is going to happen, right? It's okay if you are starting at the beginning. Where else can you start, I say to it. Start at the beginning. It is okay to be at the foot of the mountain and have failed every time you've tried to overcome it. It's okay to be anywhere along the path, we meet a path. It's like we're coming out of the woods and we find a path. It's like the path, it started somewhere else. Like wherever we're coming onto it, is just where we are. We are grounded in this place and this time. We set out on a journey of self-awareness, learning, growth. They say it gives us the opportunity to radically invent who we are, radically reinvent who we are. This is the type of path I'd really like to invite people to be on, Really think deeply, really sink into the process. Like what they say, self-awareness, learning, growth. Everything that we are doing, learning from it. Plateau space. See, people fear a plateau space. I say, don't fear a plateau space. Like in a plateau space, think of a calm lake. The sailboat is floating across the lake, okay? Floating through this plateau. Is the plateau trying to teach something else? The plateau is like a landscape. The plateau is a canvas. So just see, this is open space. Things aren't getting worse here. Think of the analogy from the other week. Turning up the temperature in the room, trying to melt the ice cube. Like the room, 28, 29. Love this analogy. Say things are looking stable. What is happening under the surface? What is happening under the surface in the mind? How are you feeling about this situation? What really are your intentions? Maybe the body is like, however these things work, like this whole situation. It's testing the intention. Which way are we going here? The body is saying, what is our way of being really? Are you really ready to let go of this? The plateau space is like a preparation space. The breakthrough is coming. The breakthrough is happening. You're building the process. Right? And we've got the different tools on this process. And we're trying to take an inventory, right? We said in that session, what are the SOPs, right? What are the standard operating procedures that are bringing us through these spaces? The fasting space, the exercise space, the food space, the mental space. Trying to use all those things to bring that room temperature up until we hit that phase change. That's the plateau phase. Plateau is the process. Plateau, when you look at it that way, plateau isn't even stuck, okay? Plateau isn't stuck. Plateau is preparing for the breakthrough and the success. Look at it that way. Can't put a timeline necessarily on that. When are we ready? It can be frustrating. You say, I'm ready now. Right? So I'm ready now. See, that is the type of observation. That's the awareness to bring to it. I'm ready now. Like, what is happening here? It's like, where are we at on these things? I'm ready now. What is happening? And say, where can we adjust? You're asking the right questions, right? If you're saying, hey, I'm in a plateau, can I change things up? See, this is the process, right? Just figuring it out, like we did the session, clues to the puzzle. We've all got the same tools. We've got a same sort of destination. We're walking forward in health. But like, we've got a body that is more complex than people appreciate, right? Most of modern medicine, most of contemporary diet thinking just treats the body like a machine. And this is kind of the age we're in, right? Of AI, that we're going to replace human beings with robots. Machines going to think for us, like that this is just a computer, that we're just a biological computer. I just really increasingly don't jive with any of that. A lot more complexity in the human body than people appreciate, right? And so use an open space. Use a plateau space like that to dive in on some beautiful, deep reflection like this. This would be the inversion. Find appreciation for it, right? Find gratitude for it, and especially find gratitude for the resolution of it. To know in the present that the outcome that you seek is inevitable, right? You see the room temperature is going up. It's inevitable that the ice cube is going to melt. Do you know that? And then you find gratitude for it. Takes the pressure off. Just think as you speak these types of things to yourself. See, as I'm just speaking that, see, like, the rate of my words goes down. The pressure comes off. It's like, hey, everything is in a good space. Do you know it? Like, when you know it, you're not going to be overwhelmed by it. Here's a passage out of this section to really think about in this space. They say, human beings are guided by comfort. They stay close to what feels familiar. They reject what doesn't, even if it's objectively better for them. It's like, is a plateau phase? Is that part of this process, right? Is a plateau phase comfortable, actually? It's familiar, right? Have you been there before? It's like you've been through a plateau phase. Like, the plateau phase, really what it is, that's the threshold, right? This is the threshold. We've brought the system right to this place. This is like, I don't know, do you call it the gut check of this system? Like, are we really going somewhere different or not? Like, are we really? No pressure to have to really do it. But this is really interesting space for, to think about. I'm thinking about in my own journey, my own process. Do we really want to push through that space? This is a very deep book, I feel. Do you agree? This book is challenging us to try to really get down to the deepest level of our decision making, our thinking, our way of being. And this to me is why I don't resonate. Maybe today, I don't know if I can bring myself to do it. One of these days, it would probably take a little while, put together a real thoughtful video about, this big study, like really get into it. It says they have like 56 or something like this different fasting studies that they brought in and that they're compared to other dietary studies. I want to just read all of these studies, like I probably have read a lot of them actually. I guarantee you nobody in these studies is reading a book like this. You know what I mean? People are going in there, they're like, we're going to pay you $250, you're going to eat, we're telling you to eat at this time and this time, and you're going to record, your stuff. And like, okay. I've participated from the other side, in medical things, like lots of stuff like that, academic, clinical. Not a lot of emotional, psychological space, where to me that's like the real root of it. Plateau space. I just, I want to just sit with you in it, like we just sit in it. What does it really mean, What are we? We're probably hanging on to something as I'm thinking about it. In a plateau space, I've sat with, hundreds and hundreds of people go through plateau space. I'll just tell you, I've seen so many people break through a plateau space like that. So I'll just tell you, I'm not at all intimidated, like in my counseling practice, weight management practice, I'm not at all intimidated if someone is having a plateau. This is not an intimidating thing. I used to, like when I was like a brand new baby doctor, I come out, I give people good advice, like that I thought is good advice. So I just exercise more, give people standard diet, diet, something like this. People have initial success as you feel so good about yourself. You say, oh, it's working, keep going. And then it's like, okay, but then plateau. And it's like, after a couple of years of this, I'm like, this just happens to everybody I tell this to. People kind of get fired up, they go plateau, and then weight gain comes back. People just go in a cycle. Then I come, like patients, I start to be afraid of it. I say, oh my God, it's like it's working, then it's not working. People get nervous, causes stress, causes frustration. And totally work our way out of that sort of cycle. This is how I ended up getting toward a fasting. This is why when I look at studies, like, I'll put this paper together. We can do a talk if you want. I'll show you the paper. I do these things. People say, oh, well, just the calorie restriction path is just the same. Why would we ever do a fasting when we could just calorie restrict our way there? I was like, have you spent a lot of time with helping people try to lose weight? Because it's not sounding like it to me, Weight loss for me, 100% a mental game. Has to be a lifestyle change. I can live with permanently avoiding the yo-yo. Yeah. This is the goal, This is why plateau is not this, So this is most people's experience in weight loss. On any type of path. Even pharmaceutical or anything, Great results, oh my gosh, like it's working so good. It's like, oh, it's like just like let's open up a broader perspective, you know? So like to have something like this happening and really float through a space and to be out of something like this, see, that's a win. This is such a miserable space to be in, the up and the down. Okay, this is much better, much more stable. And if you understand a lot of things, see, this is more about a way of being. If we are flowing through that, not so bad. Maybe say not perfect, not everything I want, but an incredible space of stability to be able to flow through and think. Yeah, I completely agree with that. It is not a healthy space, physically or emotionally. It's not a good space. So just to get out of this constant dieting cycle and flowing up and down has tremendous value. See, there's another space in a plateau to have gratitude for it. To say, hey, look at this, like we have gotten out of that type of space. We're just flowing through a space and this is okay. Like even if it's all that it ever was, how much better would, you know, mental health and people's experience be if we could just stabilize things? If a plateau did not just resolve up in a burnout experience, but was a space where, hey, it's like, I'm like found a way of being in the world. This is like step one. Or say, I've found a way of being in the world that is just out of this process, you know? And then on a bigger time frame, say, oh, we wish that this would resolve just this month, but maybe it takes a little bit more time. How do I go the right direction for you? Like we only need a tiny tip down to start to turn a plateau phase into something that has just a little bit of downward trajectory, and then just let that float down a little bit. See, that's very gentle, floating down. That's a nice process. Not driving it, not forcing anything. That is a really nice way to think about it. See, everybody who's trying to sell stuff wants, you know, big, flashy, powerful processes that are going to fix all the problems very quickly. This is the way to sell stuff, you know, apparently, which I am not very good at. Sometimes I think I should launch like a series of sarcastic commercials that are like, lose weight slowly, like buy now and lose weight as slowly as comfortably possible. It's like, it's not, you know, gonna bring a lot of sales, you know, but it would be a more honest, realistic, helpful, and thoughtful perspective. Like it is the sort of thing, like I can't tell you how many people I've worked with, including and interacted with, who have come in having done extremely difficult things, put so much energy into things. The things that I see the most is very low calorie dieting with bariatric shakes, like Bariatric Advantage. Have you seen this? And people go on these things like of just eating or drinking, you know, 3 shakes in a day, and that's all they ever do. I've seen people lose 100 pounds, you know, in less than a year, you know, and maybe even 6 months, you know, 80 pounds, like just huge weight, like doing nothing but these shakes. But this is just like a miserable experience. Like, I don't think a healthy thing to do. Highly processed product, you know, it's like, you know, it's all synthetic sort of processed stuff. And yeah, people can lose a lot of weight, but I've never met a single person who ever stuck with that, you know, for any long-term period of time. I can't think of anyone. Maybe a couple people who got out toward 2 years, 18 months, 2 years. But like everybody is looking to get off of that. And people bounce. People bounce out of that. And just like, think how much work, like how actually incredibly much drive and work it took to commit to doing nothing but shakes for 18 months. And to go through a process of losing 80 pounds and then to put it all back on and start over. And I've seen people who have done that twice, you know, who round tripped 80 pounds and twice, and then they're still back, and then they come to the clinic, you know, I'm taking a history, and I'm like, what has your experience been, you know, with weight? And they're telling, I'm looking, you know, in the the data and just seeing these huge things. I was like, so look, you've got some incredible intensity, some incredible drive, you know, which is just like, gotta commend that, right? Just like, look at that. But like, just like, let's take ourselves out of that scenario and just think, what if this person had lost just a little bit and then like plateaued for like even 6 months and then had a breakthrough again, you know, and lost a little bit more? And then what if they were plateaued for another 6 months and then we unlocked like something else? Do you see that would be like drifting down over time is such a different experience than like, whoa. So like, this is what I'm saying. Plateau is nothing to be afraid of. It's just a space getting ready for the next level. Here was a spot I underlined in this. Say, most people do not actually embrace the difficulty of altering habits until they simply don't have another choice. We've had variations of that already in this book. What I just wrote by here, and the more I was thinking about it, is like, that's just like the default path. That's the path without awareness and without thoughtfulness. And I was just saying it just doesn't have to be that way, actually. So this is my invitation to people, is to say you don't have to do that, actually. Like, you can generate awareness, thoughtfulness. You can do things like we're doing right now. You say, I'm going to engage deeply, like, in thoughtfulness about my life, and like, what are my real values, and what is the way of being that I want to have in the world. And I say, if there are specific things that I see about this way that I'm being now, that I'm choosing to let go of, it's just, there's total openness to that. The path is right here. That's what I'm trying to say. The path is right here, right now. We don't have to hit any dark other place. We can just choose right now. Look to the light. Move forward in health. Like, this is what health should be. This is what the health system should be. A place of just positive visions, of just showing people, like, actually, incredible health is positive. Creating systems to help people do it. This is the other thing, like this fasting study we were saying, is like, you know, this giant meta-analysis, 167 dietary studies they looked at. The processes aren't really helping people to do it. You know what I mean? This is the thing. As a health systems, we say, okay, like, here's certain things that work. And you say, if anything that works, like, we should be creating systems that help people to actually do these processes. This is what I'm trying to do. Like, what would such a system look like? Maybe it would look like a guy where you can just tune in and have a coffee and like just sit in the space. Like, that's the best idea I've come up with. You know, free. Like, you know, lots of people could come. We could do it. The way they end this section here, they say it's okay to get angry. This is kind of an interesting thing to explore. We've been discussing. Let go of anger. We don't want anger. They say okay to get angry, determined, and allow yourself to develop tunnel vision with the one thing at the end that you will not go on as you are. I wrote in here, okay, angry, like this type of anger, this isn't like the anger that's like resentment, hatred, that sort of thing. There's just no place for that in our life, right? I wrote in here passion, fire, intensity. Like I was using that term in the fall, intentional intensity, right? It's okay in a fasting space, okay, in a plateau space, lots of different mindsets. I'm just giving you tools, trying to give you tools. It's okay in that space too, okay? It's okay to just float through it, have nothing but grace and openness. It's okay to bring some intensity to it. Like if we are taking this space and saying plateau is like the testing ground, plateau is saying like, are we ready for it? to bring some intensity to it. Say, you know what, I am ready. This is not acceptable to me to stay. So it's acceptable to stay. You see, no rules. I loved that session. No rules in weight loss. Acceptable to stay. Flow through the space. Have gratitude for it. Realizing it's radically better than many alternatives. And even in that space, very likely over time to resolve on its own, just floating through it. It's all right. Also, bring some passion, fire, intensity to it. Dial in and crush it. It is okay. You can do that. End of this chapter here. We did some talking the other day. Pat was about like, oh, it's like, how did it go? Like, you start making different decisions, or, you know, it's like sometimes you don't jive with people anymore. That's like the social side of it is so interesting. This kind of is dialing in on that. They say the people who are meant for you are going to meet you on the other side. That is such an interesting line, right? The people who are meant for you are going to meet you on the other side. People who are really bought into your health, you know? You're going to build a new comfort zone on the things that actually move you forward. Anything that you lose was built for a person that you no longer are. Remaining attached to your old way of being, the final act of self-sabotage. Realizing what that is how we prepare to be truly willing to see real change. I like that. This is good thoughts from that book. I hope that you find value from that thinking. Sitting in a space, really going deep on it. Think about, what does this mean for me? You know, what is this way of being, and where is the line? What is resonating between finding peace, contentment in that space? Nothing has to change. Say, I don't have to change. I am good enough. Like, I am enough right in this moment. Also, building up the energy, the mindset, the space to say, I'm ready. You know, I am ready. I'm going to bring it. Hey, hello, welcome. So nice to have you here. How are you these days? I hope you are doing well. So this is the space that we flowed through. Realize, okay, our path is right here. We are on a path one way or the other, right? We are heading into the future. The future is coming at us. We can't stop it. You know, we say human beings, we fear change. Like, just the passage of time itself is a change. We change as we move through these spaces. We're getting older. Hopefully we're getting wiser through it. We are learning and growing. And so really, change is inevitable in some fashion. We're going to change in some fashion. We also want to be flexible, right? You say, we have this tendency to say we want to stay the same. We want everything staying the same. We try to hang on to things, especially in the midst of, you know, difficult seasons, stressful seasons, all kinds of things going on. We say, we try to hunker down, but that's hard, right? Then we're like hard. We want to loosen up a little bit. Path forward, we're trying to grow, we're trying to change in any fashion. You got to be flexible to change. You got to be open to new thinking and new experiences. So this is the big thing we're trying to do here, right? Bring in different mindsets, different thinking, as I am trying to, you know, I'm grabbing books that have been recommended to me, trying to pull the best ideas of thinking. Like, how do we organize our life and health in ways that are promoting health flourishing, vitality, all these sorts of things. Do it in a way that builds community and connection. This I love the most, being able to connect with people. Thank you for being here, sharing this space. In an age, like we were saying, of AI, everybody talking about people going to be replaced by robots, computers, going to do all of our thinking for us. I say no. Like let's just not do that. I think not really possible. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But even if it was possible, like, does that really sound like the type of beautiful world that will make us all healthier and happier? Like, to me, the type of vision that I would have for a future that is full of human health and flourishing is just much more grounded, much more connected, using beautiful digital technology like this to actually just build connection between people, And this is why I like the live space the most, It's just is real, It's just, it's not some large language model generated fluff, And and it's not some hyper polished video. Maybe I'll try to make one of those. Maybe I'll turn some of the ideas from this. I'll try to make one on this question about, like, does fasting only work because we get less calories, or is there something more? I'll tell you, there's a lot more. Obviously, there is a lot more. And maybe that'll be the space to do it. But I'm thinking right now of this story. Okay, my kids did a summer track and field series over the summer, and the announcer was there's like all these kids, like 6th graders or something, are doing a 400-meter dash, a lap around the track. And all of parents and fans in the stands. The announcer is saying, how do you say it? Something like, all right, everybody, on the track, we've got this 10-year-old 400-meter dash, and as they're coming around the turn, realize this is not like the Olympics. If you cheer for these athletes, they will run faster. And so he's like, let's hear it now. Let's hear it. He's getting everybody psyched up. And everybody comes alive. They start yelling for the kids. Go, go. Everybody's screaming and shouting. And man, these kids run faster. Oh my gosh, they really start going. It is so funny to see. And, I was just thinking of that moment. Like, it was such a joy-filled moment, It's like just kids being active and having fun, and parents, everybody getting into it, and it was just fun, It was a fun experience, and to me, I was like, oh, like sports, okay, like here's at least an area, so many areas of our lives getting like everything digital, there I was like, here's a real analog experience here, just cheering for some kids. It's like, it's not even a football game where people are getting concussions and traumatic brain injuries. Like, people just running around and being healthy. Like, I was like, this is one of the most healthy spots that I've been in quite a while. That sort of vibe as I'm thinking about it. That's what I really want, that's what the live is kind of like that, It's like, I mean, I do it. I watch YouTube videos, I watch a thing. It's like, okay, we're like consuming content, I was like, in this analogy, I'm like the little kid running around on the track, okay? It's like, like you interact here, like I'll run faster, It's like, it's interactive, it's like that. It's real. It's like not some hyper-edited pseudo social media version of reality. To me, that's the type of space that we need, to move toward health. That's what I feel like. Nothing fake, nothing pretending that things are any different than they are. And in a fasting space too, like fasting space, for whatever reason you're doing it, is like we're just passing the time, And trying to pass the time in a pleasant, thoughtful, positive way. Really happy to hear that. This space is an encouragement to me to have, especially you hear people coming in, sharing the space. It is encouraging to me. So I hope this is an experience that is encouraging for everybody. We're building the process, the thoughts together. Where does it go? Who knows? How does it end? We have no idea. All that we can say is we're moving toward health and wholeness in the best ways that we can, trying to center ourselves in the most healthy, positive, thoughtful, powerful thinking. Is the thinking that drives the action that drives our process and progress. And so we keep doing it one day at a time. Don't get overwhelmed by anything. You can't accomplish everything that you want. Can't be accomplished in one day. Take the pressure off the future. The only things that we can do is to be present in this day. Realize we're here on the path. Our path can be winding. We don't exactly know what it looks like, and why does it have the turns that it does. We don't know. But we can have grace for ourselves. We can accept that the path that we have, for whatever reason it is our path, and we find ourselves here. We can take care of ourselves right here in this moment to the greatest extent that we can. We can do our very best to practice the health processes, the health practices, both physically and mentally, that lead to our progress, lead to the destination. Just trying the best we can to head in that direction. That's what we can do in this day. And that is enough, right? That is enough to just do that in this day. Yes, getting through the holidays without gaining weight is an incredible feat that it is very rare that people do that. You got to feel so good about that. Absolutely. Yeah. Really, really positive. It's like to come through a space like that and you say, okay, plateau space coming out of it. Like just really, really good space to be. And we keep flowing through it. Winter in general, hey, this is a difficult season of the year too. It's cold, it's hard to get out, it's hard to be active, it's dark, it can be discouraging, okay? It's just like we have gratitude for the sun. If the sun is out today, it's like that's looking toward the light. Realize, okay, spring is coming, a lot of good things coming, and the future is just bright, open with potential. It's going to be so good. The whole year almost still in front of us. We're making it through this difficult, cold, dark first step. Thank you all for being here. I hope you have a beautiful day. Take the most powerful step forward in health that you can today. And maybe that powerful step is just to do nothing, to just take a break, to do a breathing practice and realize everything is okay. That can be good enough, okay? Or you decide what is your powerful step in this day. And I shall return with you tomorrow for more thinking. Look forward to connecting with you then. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you.